Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in today. It's good to see you. You know, I just came back from my fantastic, spectacular trip from France, and hopefully some of you were able to see some of my videos from Paris. And you know, I just want to share in this video the experiences that we go through in our lives. And you know, we go through so many things in our lives, good times and bad times, but just to keep it all here in our memory, because that's all that we have to hold on to until we get older in our age. And you know, so many of the times we focus all of our attention and our goals and dreams and our time and energy on trying to make money, trying to succeed, trying to go up in the hierarchy, the ladder of success as we live in this world of ours. But I just wanted to have all of us today to give a little bit more of a thought of what is really truly valuable to you and meaningful to you in your life. They say that experiences in our lives that we go through, that we hold on to, the good ones, the memories, are the cherishable things that we just hold dear to our hearts. And it's sad for some of us who may have dear loved ones or parents that had Alzheimer's or mental illnesses of any kind, that we just forget and erase all the memories that we have captured throughout the journey of our lives. But I really hope and pray that you would just take the time to ponder and think about all that you've been through in your life, and just to really reflect of all the good times that you had that just made you feel good, alive, loved, worthy, cherished. And for all the times that you really felt God's presence moving you in your life, that you just felt His Spirit in any scenario and any circumstances that you came across, whether it was the hardships and the challenges and the difficulties, and you just felt God's presence in those past times that He was faithful. And I encourage you to just rely on God's faithfulness, His promises, His goodness, that He'll continue to do that today if you're going through hard times, and in the future too. Just to reflect those moments of all the goodness of God. And maybe those times when God just gave you so many of His gifts and so much of His blessings that you were just in awe of, that you didn't expect. Let's take the time to ponder upon those moments in your lives, and all the laughter and all the joy that you may have experienced in one way or another. It could be through a person that gave you a little smile on your face or a belly laugh. It may be circumstances in your life that you were just so enjoyful of. Or maybe some of us may not have ever experienced such a thing in our lives. But I pray that you may intentionally look for and make it happen, make the joyful times in your life happen, and just laugh at anything that you could come to think about in your mind. For they say laughter is good medicine for the soul. And that's what it says in Proverbs, that a joyful heart is good medicine. And God wants us to continue to have a happy heart no matter what we go through in our lives, for He promises to be near and dear to us. You know, I had the best laughter that I'd like to share with you when I was in France. We were at a wedding in southern France, and we went to a flea market the next day after the wedding. And we're in this small old town, and then I was just standing there in the middle of the small town, and randomly, this old French man, he came from behind me and just suddenly grabbed my hand and my whole arm actually, and aggressively pulled me to another direction away from the flea market, to some buildings, random buildings. And I said, oh my gosh, Andy, who is this man? And my husband happened to have his camera with me. He took some pictures. And he was just speaking nonstop in French language. So we just had this language barrier. And he wanted to show us those hidden, beautiful picture sites for us to take pictures at. And just the popular sites, I guess, that's in town there at France. But it was hilarious. I have all these pictures. Actually, I have it right here. I just remembered. And he just took me to this picture places, and he had me pose. How funny, I just randomly have my photo album here. So I don't know if you can see this old man right there. See? He grabbed my hand, and here he is just taking me to these picture spots, and that was the most funnest, memorable time I had in France. Here he is, like, proposing to me. He has his arm around me but didn't touch my arm. I mean, it was just hilarious. So when I think about my memory back in France, and if I just want to have a good laugh to myself, I think of that incident with this old French man. So that was funny. I encourage you today to think about anything that will give you some type of laughter and joy. Perhaps it could be something very, very embarrassing that happened in your life. That's always pretty humorous. And I remember there was a time I was talking about an incident with my son, and it was pretty embarrassing to me, and I was reflecting back in my past and sharing with my oldest son, all with the subject matter that is kind of discreet. It's kind of private, but I was able to share with him, and we were just busting up laughing about the whole you know, it's kind of like women's physical issues. It was hilarious. But please do think about something that gave you a little smile, a little tickle in your heart, in your belly, that you can laugh at today. Something good. And any kind of memories that you can just hold and capture and have it near and dear to your heart. And just have more laughter and joy in your life today. I encourage you. Because God is so good. And He wants the best for us in our lives. And He wants us to have the laughter, the joy is good medicine for our souls. Because living in this world, sometimes we can get so consumed and so depressed with all the negativity and the chaos and all the confusions and the stress that is out there. And I just want to take this brief moment and share with you that, you know, sometimes as a hairstylist, you know, I've been doing hair for 31 years. I see myself pretty much as a therapist somewhat to some of my clients. A lot of them do mention to me that I feel that they see me as their therapist. They kind of share with me a lot of the private matters and maybe issues and challenges they go through in their lives. And through time, I built up relationships with a lot of my clients. And this week, I just heard some very, very sad news, always from just real life people that I hear, and it's just so disheartening. And you know, life is so short, bottom line. You never know that what can happen. And I know my client, for the last 5 years, she really wanted her husband to retire from his work because she wanted to, like, enjoy their later years together, perhaps traveling, you know, not be a workaholic anymore, try to sell their business. She's been wanting this for so long. And finally, last year, he retired. And she was very happy about that. And he was starting to have a little bit of health issues, little minor ones, but not that badly. Well, she just came in recently, and I could tell that she was a little distressed. And I took that moment, I walked her out to the door after she was done with her hair. And I must say, the power of hair, you know, I love my business. In the beauty business, when your hair, you get a fresh haircut, fresh color, fresh style. I love to bring that little smile, that little sparkle of joy to my client's face for that moment, for that day, to just uplift their spirits. So it can help them walk out with the spring in their steps. But any kind of down, any kind of, just anything that's makes them feel down for a time being. So anyways, she did share with me that sadly she found out that her husband has some failing health issues, pretty severe, with Parkinson's and with other matters. And she recently found that out. And at the same time with her sister too, she had a 4th-stage lung cancer, and her sister was not a smoker. So, you know, these are like very disheartening news. And only when you know people that is close to you, that's near and dear to your hearts go out to them. And it's so sad. For nothing is guaranteed in life. Nothing is ever set in stone. We always try to wait to do fun, great things later in our lifetimes. But I encourage you today, make it intentional today if you're able to. Don't wait and put it on your list like this is something I would like to do later. You know, spend time with a loved one later. It can be anything, or retire later and then travel, or play that piano, take up piano lessons, art lessons, do this, do that later. Let's take the moment today and think about, maybe I should be a little bit more intentional, because I never know what's going to happen tomorrow for me. Because we always never know what's going to happen with us, with our health issues, or with our finances, or with our family members. You know, they may not be around for that long. Who knows? But God is faithful, and He holds on to His promises. No matter any kind of hardships we go through, just take comfort in Him today. Find your strength, your hope, your joy, and your peace in God today. Just help Him to just guide you each and every day for discernment, for wisdom, and know that you are not alone. You are not alone. God is with us. He's by our sides. He promises to never leave us or forsake us. So I pray that we may try to switch our brains. If you're going through anything that is downhearted, try to find a little bit of joy, laughter today, and just really ponder and just really relish in that moment. For again, Proverbs says, laughter, joy, it's a good medicine. Any positive thoughts is like a good medicine to our hearts. So let's just lift up our faith and our belief in God, and just know that God is with us always, and He will give us the daily strength and the joy and peace that we need for the day. I hope that something I said today have blessed your heart. And just take the moment again, I encourage you to find a little joy, find a little humor, any kind of embarrassing moments or any fun times that happen in your life, just to bring that smile on your face so it can feed your soul, and your soul may flourish and grow in the right, healthy, good direction. And God wants to bless us tremendously with His love. God bless you. I'll see you next week, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Goodbye.